Ladies and gentlemen, what a week it has been for professional wrestling, and we're starting this week off in the same way that we started last week off, man. There's a lot of news going around on social media today, and we're going to get them covered right here on Off the Script. Tony Khan is getting absolutely destroyed on social media from people who genuinely don't like the product anyway, but he's also getting flamed by the people who have stood side by side with him and supported AEW through everything that they've done. And he's getting flamed because of a match announcement that he made for this Saturday's Maximum Carnage AEW Collision. And when you see what the match actually is, you're going to understand why people just don't want any more of the nonsense that Tony Khan is serving up on weekly AEW television. WWE has already unveiled Pentagon Jr. merchandise ahead of his WWE debut tonight on Monday Night Raw. And WWE strategically is running Saturday night's main event on the same night as AEW All in Texas. We got this and so much more right here on today's Off the Script. We'll start with Saturday night's main event. The news came out as of this morning that Saturday night's main event is listed to go head-to-head with AEW All in Texas. All in Texas is AEW's first venture in the United States with the All In show. They are running at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, and they're looking to sell anywhere between 20 and 30,000 tickets for that show. They've moved just a little bit over 10,000, but we have 7 months to go, and I'm sure AEW will definitely come close to their goal. But this is one of the next battles between WWE and AEW, and it's going to be a big one. Saturday night's main event against All in Texas. If you're a non-subscriber, you could see the Peacock schedule for WWE programming, and it lists the next 2 Saturday night's main event shows. Now, we have one coming up on January 25th. That is one weekend before the Royal Rumble. The next 2 are outlined for May 24th, which is Double or Nothing weekend, because Double or Nothing weekend usually happens on Memorial Day weekend, then that falls on Memorial Day weekend. And then July 12th, which is coincidentally the same exact date as All in Texas for AEW at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Now, another one that people really aren't paying attention to, that WWE just announced, I believe as of this week, WWE Vengeance Day will take place on February 15th, the night of AEW Grand Slam Australia. In this case, AEW's show will air in the morning, and WWE's show will air at night, so there should be no discrepancies there between the AEW and WWE shows. You know, I was told, or we were told, I should say, publicly, that WWE doesn't have the control over when these Saturday night's main event shows take place. It is up to NBC, Universal. It is up to the higher powers for NBC, being that they're running the quarterly specials. Triple H just goes and does what the higher-ups need from him. They give him a date. He works around it, and that's the way it was reported to us. A lot of people were speculating, well, why are we holding a Saturday night's main event so close to the last one that happened on December 14th? Well, that happened in the fourth quarter of 2024. This is the first quarter of 2025. And WWE felt that January 25th was the best date for Saturday night's main event right before the Royal Rumble to take place. We were told that it was up to NBC. But then you start to think WWE is petty in their own mind. WWE would take every opportunity they can to just kind of stick it to Tony Khan. Memorial Day weekend and then All in Texas, having Saturday night's main event happen on both of those shows, or on both of those weekends, to go up against both of those shows. That is, I mean, it is easy to see how people could interpret that as WWE trying to big league AEW. Do we believe Triple H? That's up to you. I mean, he's in the McMahon family, and they are notorious liars. So they are crude businessmen. They're going to just give you what you want to hear, and they're not going to really give you what they're actually thinking. So I believe, at the end of the day, that it certainly is up to WWE when they run these events, because it is their show, it is their creative, it is their product. WWE is going to do what's best for the on-screen product. And if it fits into the schedule, then we do it. For the fact of the matter that's happening on both of these weekends, I mean, it is not wrong for fans to start asking questions. What WWE is doing here? Why do they need to do this on the same night as All In? I know what show I'm covering. I'm covering All In because it's the bigger show. I'll just watch Saturday night's main event on Sunday morning the next day, and I'll cover it Sunday afternoon the next day. It's not that big of a deal as far as my content creation is concerned. But it is quite coincidental that both of these shows are taking place on two of the biggest shows, two of the biggest weekends that AEW has all year. So I'll let you guys determine that. You know, WWE is very petty. AEW, listen, none of this even matters, honestly, but Tony Khan loves to poke the bear. WWE would have acted this way if they said nothing in regards to WWE anyway. If Tony Khan never said or uttered WWE in any negative way at all, WWE would still behave like this. So it really doesn't matter. But Tony Khan has made things a lot worse. You want to fuck with Triple H, you want to fuck with Nick Khan, you want to fuck with Endeavor, then you're going to get the shit that is rightfully deserved coming to you. So I don't really sit here and feel sorry for Tony Khan. He started all this himself, and he's not making things easier on himself. He's not making things better for himself because he's just a clueless fucking hack. So I'll let you guys determine what you think this situation is and sound off in the comments section below. But two shows going head to head. One Saturday night's main event and AEW's biggest show of the entire year in Texas. Tony Khan is getting absolutely flamed on social media for a match announcement that he made. And look at this fucking disgusting garbage, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Tony Khan has put on social media in regards to what the main event of AEW Collision will be. He tweets out this Saturday, January 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TNT and Max, Saturday, AEW Collision. And he adds everybody. Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Useless, Claudio, Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith versus Will Hobbs, the Outrunners, FTR, and Adam Copeland for AEW Collision Maximum Carnage on Saturday night. So being that we got this match announcement and we got Tony Khan absolutely getting slaughtered on social media, I figured we would have a little fun and read through the comments section from all the sickos who at one point or another, they prop Tony Khan up on the throne and he's their hero and nothing that the man does is wrong and everybody loves what he's doing. I figured today we'll read through the comments to see how badly Tony Khan is getting treated here for his absolutely disgusting creative. Now, if you look, 1.8 million views on this tweet. In Tony's sick and demented mind, he thinks that this is good publicity for AEW Collision. Meanwhile, the match announcement should automatically, after this post, be taken down, and creative should change according to what the fans are feeling. That's my take on that. I had to get my digs in. Tony getting flamed in his own comment section. Are you all learning yet? He doesn't care about you. He never did. If he did, this storyline would end as soon as humanly possible. This is nothing more than a 40-something-year-old man living out a childhood fantasy of running a professional wrestling promotion, and there's no creative vision, there's no creative direction whatsoever, and he does it for himself and himself only. You, me, and everybody else that once upon a time loved AEW. We were only there because it was the only thing in town that made sense. Vince wasn't doing what we wanted, Tony was. Now, all of a sudden, this man has become the incarnate of Vince McMahon Jr. The sicko said we were complaining when we called out the flaws in this storyline, says Maverick. And where did that bring them? Into these replies, questioning it. Fucking idiots. LOL. Speed down here a little bit and get some other opinions. Wow, says Chris Michael, you only have two of the guys who have been on every promotional AEW thing since forever. It was the Bucks, Moxley, Omega, Jericho, and Cody. This is like playing Pokemon and having all the bullshit cards. We got Reverend Rivera. 7 out of the 12 guys on this poster are ex-WWE. Death Riders are supposed to be the catalyst for change in AEW. And you have Max teaming up, or Mox, I think he means, teaming up with the fresh newcomer who's going to usher in the new era of pro wrestling, Chris Jericho. I got it. Pro Wrestling X says, what if the Death Riders beat the Learning Tree before the match and introduce 3 new members? Anything can happen. Let's wait till Saturday. Pro Wrestling X, let me tell you something, brother. That is quite the hope you got there, man. I would not trust anything Tony Khan does whatsoever. Speeding down here a little bit, we got Mark. This is something WWE 12 Universe Mode would cook up and call it tonight's highlight match. On your mark, sports. This is not good TV, period. Daddy Dabs. And this horrible storyline of the Death Riders. Nobody likes it. And you're losing fans over this kind of garbage. Sorry, I had to say it. He must be a disgruntled sicko. When are you guys going to get on board with what me and Jesse, with what I have been saying for months now? Braden. So why are the Death Riders teaming with Chris Jericho? Chris is literally a representation of everything the Death Riders stand against and hates. Pete says, bro, what is this? Blake, nobody wants this. Nobody asked for this. Terrorist graps. Deserved nuke. Who came up with this shit? Awful, horrible, horrendous. Thank God for Triple H. Pivot, pivot, pivot. This Death Riders angle is ruining your company. I don't know what else I have to tell you. I don't really know where else I gotta go, man. I don't really know what else I gotta say. At the end of the day, what I have been preaching and getting hate for has been 100% spot on. Why is John... First of all, where's the Death Riders story even going? Nobody even knows. I don't even think Jon Moxley knows. We were supposed to get the feeling that Jon Moxley was overtaking AEW. I don't get that sense whatsoever. I don't know why anybody would want to team with the Death Riders if they're taking over AEW. AEW has done an absolutely horrendous job of even painting a picture of a takeover. If they wanted anybody to team with the Death Riders, they should have made alliances with small pockets of talent backstage who do agree with their vision, who do agree with the direction of AEW and it being a fucking absolute disaster. They should want to team with the Death Riders. We've got no narrative and no story in regards to that, on top of what I already mentioned, that it doesn't really feel like a takeover of the company. How could it feel like a takeover of the company when Tony Khan is making match announcements like this and everybody, according to what we see, still knows that Tony Khan is booking the shows? If it was a complete company takeover, there would be a figurehead on TV operating for the Death Riders, and Tony Khan would have nothing to do with the creative, and nobody would want to team with the Death Riders unless they made some sort of alliance and agree with their mission statement. We don't even know what their mission statement is. We haven't even seen a world title in how many months now? 4 months. The World Championship, your biggest prize, the beacon of the company, has been held away in a briefcase since October. How could anybody get on board with this? Then you want to put what is legitimately the worst storyline that they're telling right now, and you want to fuse that with the fucking Learning Tree. Another group who nobody wants to see on television, yet we still get the Learning Tree every fucking week. And Jericho is on our TVs every single Dynamite or every single Collision. And that has been an absolute death for AEW in itself. You want to mix both of these groups now together. Do you see why fans are hating the product? Do you see why fans are getting on board with how awful the creative direction is for AEW? And the funny thing is, they have painted Darby Allin as the savior of the company. They have painted Darby Allin as the guy that's going to stop the Death Riders, that he's the one guy that is going to bat for AEW. And where exactly is Darby Allin? They took him off television so that he can go climb Mount Everest. You took your star of this entire angle, the one guy that is going to go over the Death Riders, and have taken him off TV for months so he can go climb Mount Everest, only for him to plant a flag at the top of the mountain so that you can say he did it. And then when he gets back, Tony Khan can reward him with the World Championship at All In Texas. By that time, there'll be no fans left watching the show. I don't understand how anybody thinks this is the right idea. What exactly do we have to do to get through to Tony Khan? At this point, people are losing hope at the quickest rate that you've ever seen in regards to the product. No trust, no faith, no hope. And do you think that he's going to listen? 1.8 million views on this and all these negative comments. Do you genuinely think he's going to change this six-man tag? No, he's going to double down on it. That's what he's going to do. He's going to double down on it, and he's going to make it some fucking weird fetish spectacle, and he's going to try and convince you that he was right all along. Instead of doing what the fans actually want, he's going to double down on everything. And then you wonder why the ratings and the interest and everything regarding AEW is going down and spiraling down quicker than you've ever seen before. This is a fucking disaster. And for all the people that want to claim that I hate on the company, I'm not hating on the company for no reason. I'm hating on the company because of the shit that we are being given, and nobody is doing a fucking thing to convince him of it otherwise. This is a disgrace. Listen to the fans. Hire a fucking creative team and get the fuck away from anything to do with creative on AEW television. At this point, they need a hard reset. They need a complete rewrite. They need a complete wash of everything you see on TV, and they need to start over. I don't believe we're at this point. I don't believe we are at a point where we've gotten some great historical moments from this very same company, and we are in a position right now where they are producing the worst television that they ever produced in 5 years, and we are talking about them needing a hard reset with Tony Khan desperately needing to walk away from the creative room. And nobody seems to want to call this shit out. If you do what you did here more and more and more, and got more vocal with him, there may be a possibility of change. I can't do it alone. I don't want to see the company die. And I told you from the day that that TV contract was signed for the new renewal, they got their money and they're going to coast. He's got his money. He's going to do what he wants because he feels like he made it. He feels like he made AEW a success, bigger and better than anybody could have ever done. Nobody, according to him, could have done what he did. Meanwhile, he got his money, he got cozy, he got comfortable, and now he's gotten lazy. This is the same formula that Vince McMahon did when he got his Saudi money, when he got his Fox money, when he got his NBC Universal, USA Network money. They all got lazy. At that point, billionaires writing for us, it's too much. They got their money. All they want is more money. All they want is to pad their pockets even more. They don't give a fuck about us and what we want to see, as long as it humors Vince McMahon, just like it now humors Tony Khan. That's all that matters to him. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He did once upon a time when the company needed to get its traction in the pro wrestling scene. Now it does. And now he's actively trying to fucking kill it. I don't know. He lost Rampage, and Collision is now becoming just like Rampage. Does he want to get Collision canceled? I can't wait to see those ratings come out when NXT's rerun with The Rock from New Year's Evil beats their B show on Saturday night. That's the next thing I'm waiting for. All you guys need to understand is that Tony Khan books for one man, himself. And we'll end with this, guys. Chad Gable and the mystery Luchador tonight on the second episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix that is being advertised tonight. The belief is that the mystery person will be former AEW Luchador Penta El Zero Miedo, or Pentagon Jr. For weeks, WWE's been airing hype vignettes for Penta's debut. Last week, they confirmed Penta was behind the vignettes, but had announced Penta as Gable's opponent. I mean, everybody knew he was going to debut. They showed that same masked vignette, this time with his name written in the mask. Penta departed from AEW in late 2024. He previously filed a trademark for Zero Miedo several months ago, which translates to Zero Fear. The belief is his brother, Rey Fenix, will be joining him in WWE when his contract does expire, whenever Tony Khan lets him out of AEW prison, which had time added to it because of injury, and he made a big stink about it on social media. WWE, as of this morning, has already put Penta's merchandise on WWEshop.com, as you guys see there. T-shirts, hoodies, and the mask. And Penta is on the homepage of WWEshop.com right before his debut tonight against Chad Gable on Netflix. Some people are wondering, JD, why did they spoil the debut? Why did they do this morning? Why couldn't they wait until after his match with Chad Gable? First of all, they didn't spoil anything. That just goes to show you that a lot of people just aren't really paying attention. They haven't spoiled anything. From the first week of vignettes, you knew who exactly was coming out. You knew who this was and who this was going to be. So I don't really understand. Secondly, last week, they gave you a name to go with the vignettes, just to give everybody wondering, maybe they don't know who Penta is. Who is this guy? And then they go on social media and people start talking, and then you get to look up Penta and see where he's worked and who he is and what he looks like. They gave it away last week. Third, Triple H was even asked at the post-show media scrum after Netflix and Raw who Chad Gable's opponent is, and he laughed and said, and I quote, "I think you all know who it is." So that's 3 instances where they gave you, and were hiding nothing about what their plans were, who this was. They did not hide anything. Secondly, on top of everything that I just mentioned, we have WWE in possession of one of the most acclaimed luchadors in the entire world. You know WWE is petty. You know where he's coming from. They know where he's coming from. Penta knows where he's coming from. Tony knows where he was. WWE is going to throw it in Tony's face. They're going to throw it in AEW's face. They want to market the shit out of him and do everything that Tony didn't do with Penta. And they want him and AEW to know it. They want Tony and they want AEW to know, you are amateur, we are the big leagues. This is a business. You're running a fucking personal playground with action figures. That's exactly what they want Tony Khan and AEW to think. And the one thing that I sit here wondering is, how fucking stupid, how short-sighted is Tony Khan? He doesn't know how to read the room. He's not a businessman, and everything that he attaches his name to is probably a fucking failure. He doesn't know how to manage his roster. He doesn't know how to fucking do creative. He doesn't know anything. The one thing I'm thinking about is, how many months, how many years did Tony employ the Lucha Brothers? How many masks have we seen on shopaew.com? Zero. Not a single fucking mask. Do you know who has a mask on shopaew.com? I don't have it on my desk. I'd show you. You know who has a mask? Hologram. Fucking Hologram has a mask, and the quality is garbage for what they're charging. WWE took, not even before his fucking debut, one day, and they got masks, they got merchandise, and this guy is going to be marketed like the money machine that he is. There are levels to this shit, and Tony Khan is still on stage 1. And WWE is operating as the final boss. Tony Khan is running out of lives very, very, very quickly. There's no cheat codes here, motherfucker. You either get with the fucking program and hire people to bring your company to where everybody expects them to be, knows where they could be, but Tony Khan's pettiness and Tony Khan's just weird behavior is getting in the way of making AEW a viable contender and a viable threat to anything that WWE is. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't want anybody booking the shows unless people know it's him, and he doesn't give a shit about the talent that he employs as long as he's got all the shiny new toys in his toy chest that he has access to. That is it. WWE's running a business. Tony Khan is playing with his fucking action figures in his basement while his mom and dad are cooking dinner upstairs, and he doesn't give a shit what's going on around him. And that's why AEW is failing. So it took WWE one fucking day to get the likeness of Penta's mask on their shop, and they're going to make so much money, I can't even fucking comprehend how much money they're going to make on Penta. And then when Phoenix comes in, and when they're a duo and a tag team, WWE is just going to ramp up that pettiness even more so and shove it to Tony Khan. This is how you book star talent in pro wrestling. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited about his match with Chad Gable. Give them 15 to 18 minutes and let them fucking cook. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you did enjoy today's video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of all the top stories here coming out of Monday as we head into Monday Night Raw. Hit that thumbs up. Go check out all of the other content on the channel. Last week was a major week for us, so go check out Raw, Tuesday Night Titans, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night SmackDown, and all the extras in between. One on Malachi Black. Go check that out. And the second channel is booming as we are rapidly approaching 10,000 subscribers over on the second channel. Everything you need for that is linked down below in the description. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for now, and Cameo. I'll be live tweeting during Netflix Raw tonight. And until tonight, I'll see you live right here for the official post show on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.